So I'm not going back and forth with a man who thinks that they should be in my position. If you want to be in my position, get in my position.
Do you believe that?
Bluff City Media presents The Anthony Sain Show on YouTube at Bluff City Media. Stepping up to the microphone is your host, Anthony Sain.
Acknowledge me.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Anthony Sain Show. This is, of course, your host, Anthony Sain, here live in the Bluff City Media Studios. Kenny Stubblefield behind the glass. Kenny, what's going on, bro?
My brother, another beautiful day.
Man, great day again today as well, man. My guy, Matt Infield, is coming in with us later on today from Action News 5. I know, we gotta I had to remember, like, what, because they changed names.
They changed it, right.
They were like WMC 5 for a while. Then they brought the Action News 5 back.
And now is it just Channel 5?
No, Channel 5 is what we used to call it, just Channel 5.
Okay.
The word channel is kind of dated in the digital era.
That's true.
But I still call it Channel 5. But because I have a little thing I say where people ask me how I'm doing, I say I'm just trying to stay alive and stay off Channel 5. Unless Doc Holliday got me on, or Matt Infield got me on.
Right.
Well, other than that, I ain't trying to be on Channel 5 for nothing, man.
Doc will throw something at you if you say that.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man, Matt Infield's gonna come in. Not a local Memphian, man, so I'm going to get his takes on things, how he views things here in the city of Memphis as far as sports are concerned. But, Kenny, I was in the FedEx Forum yesterday and realized just how long it had been since I was in FedEx Forum, man. I was in there last night to see the return of one of my favorite players, I'll definitely say without a doubt, Brandon Clark, man. There are some guys that you apply logic to, and there are some guys that you apply emotion to. And without question, I'll admit that Brandon Clark is a guy that I apply emotion to when it comes down to thinking. Like I said, man, my first year covering the team full time, Brandon Clark, John Morant were rookies. Jaren was a second year guy. Jaren didn't even have hair like he has now. Jaren had like a little low haircut still.
You remember those pictures? Have you seen? You ever go back and see those
Jaren
pictures?
looked so weird when he had that low haircut when he was a rookie.
He's so skinny and young, man.
Just nothing but limbs. Nothing but limbs and joints,
Yep.
But BC made his return last night. It is crazy, and I'm going to speak to this too, man, because we had a crowd where during points of the game, you heard the LeBron squeals, right? Yeah. Like, somebody scores or dunks and you got, grown-ass men squealing for LeBron James, right? You heard this all through the arena. But when Brandon Clark checks into the game, you get this resounding, like almost unanimous cheering for Brandon Clark, right?
Absolutely.
Which speaks to, man, you damn Laker fans, man, are the fakest fans in the world, bro.
Wild.
And you can tell Grizzlies fans who are like old Kobe Laker era fans too, like they've kind of converted over. And but they still have their moments where they kind of go back and forth about just the way they describe basketball or the way they watch basketball is very Laker fan-esque, right?
Oh, God. You can see it. The way that their whole viewpoint of basketball.
Yeah, it's all, And
it's completely different than normal.
And last night just speaks to how fake Laker fans are, right? Because if you're a Laker fan, if you're a true fan of a team, right, no matter how ass that team is or whatever you think they're going to be, this is a playoff team. This Laker team they'll play in team, whatever.
Right.
But we see how fake and how much if there's ever opportunity where there's supposed to be like 80% Laker fans in the arena, it probably should have been last night.
Should have been last night.
But they still weren't there. Right. And then like one of the greatest players of all time plays in your team, and you don't even know if this is the last time you'll ever see him again. Because LeBron can say, I'm done at the end of this year. You would never know.
Right.
And it wasn't even a lot of Laker fans there. And when Brandon Clark checked in, everybody in the arena was cheering for Brandon Clark. Like, y'all are Grizzly fans, bro. Like, it's just their fans are just so phony, bro. Like, and I've always felt the way because I remember like we talked about the other day's show with Parrish. I remember the first season. Parrish said something the other day that I didn't hear it when he said it. When I went back and watched the show, I was like, dude, you're not that young. He said something that made me feel old as hell, bro.
Yeah, what'd he say?
He said he don't even remember the Titans being here.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, you got to be effing playing with me, bro. But he's not. He ain't lying, though. He may not remember that because that was when I was in high school, maybe, right?
Yeah. I mean, I remember it. I'm bad with dates, so I don't know exactly when it was.
Because Parrish is like 31, 32.
Yeah, man, we're old.
So it happened while he was here, but he probably doesn't have any memory of it. Because most people who are Titans fans is because they remember the Titans being here in Memphis for that year or whatever.
Right.
Damn. That made me feel old as shit when parents said, I ain't ashamed to be old, man. I'm a parent, all that. I'm all those things. Like, not just a figure of speech, man. Like, I am a father and an uncle. So, age is age. I was thinking about that the other day, too, man. Like, at what point will you say I'm an old man? Like, when you say, like, we look at an old man and say, okay, that's an old man. Because it ain't 45, which is coming up for me this year.
I'm not there yet. But
55, 60? At what point did you look at yourself like an old man and like, help me out, young man type?
God, I don't know, man, because it's so strange. Like
60 something.
It's got to be 60. Like
because at 55, I think I'm still gonna be with the shit. I know dudes who are 55 with the shit. Like, yeah, I can do that. Like I can do what that dude's doing, man. I know a dude that got married at damn near 60 years old to a girl in his 30s. I was like, yeah, man. That looks feasible. It looks doable. Like I got a little wiggle room.
Looks like I got some. I can do that.
I got some wiggle
That's
room,
something
man.
I could do.
Yeah,
I would say. Every time I think about something like that, because I think about mortality and age a lot.
Yeah. Especially now.
Especially now.
When shit stopped working. The non-vital shit stopped working.
Right.
The fun stuff still works, but like, sometimes your eyes go bad.
My eyes go bad.
As long as I got one.
As long as I can see.
Yeah.
A little bit. Just let me see something. Right? Like,
do it over here in the light, baby, so I can see.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Wake up in the morning, my left knee is swollen for no good goddamn reason.
Long as the fun stuff works.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I
we'll literally take Viagra and just killing our heart.
like, I don't care.
Got heart murmurs from taking Viagra. But hey.
As long as the fun stuff works. I think about it like every time I think about age stuff, I think about like things with my kids, right? Mm-hmm. Like that when they start to get a little bit older and they're starting to see different like experiences, things that I remember that I have very specific memories of, like first year of high school for my daughter. What's that going to look like for her in a couple of years? She's going to be in high school in 2 years. Like when she gets her driver's license, when she goes to college, like those are all things that I'm like, is it that makes you old, or is it just those life experiences age-wise that make you old? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll let you know when I get there. Because me and you will still be connected at that point.
Right,
but like
some way.
But I'll let you know when I get there. I'll let you know. I'll wake up one morning, call you up, and be like, "Aunt, I feel old, bro. I think I'm old now."
Because we joke about like, damn, bro, like we getting old, or like, damn, my glasses don't work no more type shit. You know what I mean? Like, but it's like I don't feel like an old man. And speaking of not feeling like an old man, LeBron James definitely shouldn't feel like an old man. I sit there and watch this man have a triple-double last night, 23 points, 14 rebounds, 12 assists, a ridiculous alley-oop dunk in the first half of the game.
Put it on GG quite a few times.
Yeah, kind of humbled my boy GG,
humble
man.
GG just a little
and
bit.
We'll talk about LeBron's lying ass, capping ass a little bit.
So crazy.
We'll talk about that in the three-pointer for sure. But I am happy to see what looks like the mortality of the NBA in the faces of. I hope this don't come off like a hater, and if it does, that's fine too. But the current faces, the big three of the NBA, right? The old guard is LeBron, Steph Curry, KD. Those guys are 8th, 9th, and 10th in the West right now. You know what I mean? Two of them will not be. At least one of them will not be in the playoffs, right? So
crazy.
It's an era coming to an end, man, and I think you'll see maybe one more year of those guys being what they are, like having teams that are able to get to the playoffs, but that might come to an end because Houston's coming. Houston is coming in the West. The Grizzlies will be back next year in the West, right? So
OKC's going to be.
OKC's still going to be there.
Yep.
Minnesota's still going to be good. Sacramento. I think Denver's still there. The reigning NBA champions are still there. So I think that I'm glad to see it, man. Like I hate the way the NBA is covered right now. Like we still cover the NBA like we're watching the game on an antenna, right?
Yeah.
It's like you have global coverage of the NBA, but like ESPN, all these kind of companies, I understand why they do it. They're gonna you're gonna grease the squeaky wheel. They're gonna
cater to the markets.
It's
man.
all those type of things. But yeah, I'm glad to see the mortality of those guys. The league mentality. I don't want the brothers to die, but the league, NBA mortality of those guys is coming to an end. And I'm glad because the Lakers are one of the dumbest organizations in the history of sports, outside of the things that have been gifted to them, like Kobe Bryant in that draft. The way he got to the Lakers was wild shit. The way that we, the Grizzlies, We were a poverty organization at the time.
Gifted
them Pau Gasol. When Pau Gasol was when Kobe Bryant was about to get up out of L.A., if something didn't happen, that was a real thing. Go back and check your history. And we saw Kobe Bryant tank games in the NBA playoffs before Pau Gasol got there. That was a real thing. Go back and check your history and get out of your emotions when it comes down to Kobe Bryant, who's one of the greats. We saw those type of things. We saw them be ass for a long time after Kobe left, and not have a team that was not a playoff team. LeBron James decides to come there and make movies, and they win a championship. You know what I mean? And that's been the history of the Lakers, man.
The worst one to me was a couple years ago when they had an ass team at the beginning of the year, and then at the trade deadline
made some little tinkering,
revamped their entire roster,
and they got a team that was able to go to the conference finals. I don't think that kind of run is in them this year.
No.
Who knows?
But that's the way that Lakers fans think.
Yeah.
Lakers fans think at any moment we could just blow up the team and get a better team.
Yeah.
That's not the way. That's not the way this works.
And I had a conversation with a dude who was like, "Oh, it's just imminent that a guy like Anthony Edwards and Ja they're coming to the Lakers." I'm like, dude, that days
why?
Why?
Those days are over.
And unless Ja and Anthony Edwards decide they're going to start a movie company, why are they coming to LA, bro? Why would they leave good situations? And teams are much more competent now than they were even 5 years ago. Oklahoma City Thunder are a team who's going to manage their payroll in a way where there's not we've got to give away James Harden and keep Serge Ibaka. They're not that organization anymore, right? They've become wiser since then. The Grizzlies are a smart organization. The Sacramento Kings, smart organization now. They're not. This ain't Vlade Divac over there making decisions, right?
And for all the faults of the NBA, the NBA and the collectors and the Players Association have done a good job of making things more equitable across the board.
And it's hard to do those type of things. It's hard for you to sign, these big name guys, regardless of your market size, for sure. But like I said, I was in the building. Good to see my boy Brandon Clark come back, man. He didn't have any type of huge game or anything, but you could see flashes that he's still there.
Oh, yeah.
Probably a lot of conditioning is his bigger thing.
I got to watch a little bit of the game on TV.
Yeah.
And
sitting him gets his go-to shots again. I was like, oh
God.
shit.
Tell me it doesn't bring back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, man, Brandon Clark. I remember rookie year Brandon Clark. That little floater in the lane.
That little spin hook, hook in the lane. Oh,
he had all them. He had all them ready.
He sat down after his first run, and, man, you could see it on his face. He was like,
man.
He was having.
This is not practice.
It is not practice.
Yeah, for sure. But good to see my boy BC back, man. Love the ovation he got. Love to see, because that Laker team is not good, bro. We looked like shit last night, and the Lakers, that team, especially for a team who's trying to keep, the Golden States behind them, keep the Rockets behind them, that team is not good, bro. And LeBron's out there with just a bunch of random dudes. And I told people this offseason that, the Lakers are the Lakers got so-and-so. Oh, the Lakers got Jackson Hayes. All right, bro.
Okay.
All right, let me know how that works out for you. You know what I mean? They got, what's the kid from Duke that played for everybody? He's good for a couple weeks. And
Cam Reddish.
Cam Reddish. And, the kid from the Minnesota with the dreadlocks, the wing.
Torian Prince.
These are just dudes, man. Pull a great signing. All right. And they've had what's the name for 5 games, Gabe Vincent. Everybody was talking about him. He's the next Derek Fisher. All right. All right. Keep me posted how that works out. And of course, he's going to turn into Derek Fisher for real in the play-in, in the playoffs. So, we'll see how that works out for sure. But we're about to go ahead and take a break, man. When we come back, my guy Matt Infield will be here from Channel 5 Action News Sports Super Station. He's going to be here. He's a weekend reporter for that. And we'll have him on. We're going to have some good stuff. Got to talk about the LeBron James comments, the Rui Hachimura comments, and also Ice Cube out here trying to make boss moves out here, man.
Dude.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that for real. I'm hearing different opinions. I'm still shaping my opinion, and I'm just going to kind of talk about some of the different opinions I've heard on that whole Ice Cube trying to get Caitlin Clark thing. We'll talk about that for the three-pointer, and we'll talk about something very interesting when it comes down to Inside the Same Brain. We'll talk about those things and more here on Enter the Same Show. See you guys in a minute.
Two bits of introspection besides all the nonsense that he was saying. Because he did, we had the greatest plans ever. They just didn't execute. It's it's your job to make them execute.
Yeah.
And then he said something about, what went wrong? Somebody said, what went wrong this year? And he said, well, I don't know. And he's like asking the players. He's like, do you want me to ask him? What went wrong? And they're like, I don't know. That you need to know that. If you want to be successful going into the future, you need to know the answer to that question.
For sure.
The problem I have with Penny and like the words he says, a lot of those words never actually amount to action. I know he said he thinks he's done a great job and all these, he's had these type of messages where he feels like he's being a little bit victimized. All I can do is hope that he uses this as a springboard and a learning tool going forward. But do I believe that to be the case? No, probably not.
Right.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
And we say all this, and now there's already talk. They haven't even done the 12 team. And Kenny, they're already talking about expanding it to 14 in 2026.
I'm down for every bit of it.
I am too. Expand it. Keep going. Kenny, have you seen what the proposal is for the expanded to 14? 3 guaranteed SEC, 3 guaranteed Big Ten. That's 6. 2 ACC, 2 Big 12. So now you're at 10, and then 1 G5 representative with 3 at large. Top 2
That's
from ACC.
It's going to be that way anyway. Is it?
I mean,
it's going to be that way anyway, so why not?
Yeah, likely.
I don't mind it. If it gets the SEC, the Big 10, the Big 12, all those power conferences on board, do it. Why not?
As long as we still get a shot.
Yeah, I think as long as any G5 still has a chance, right?
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, y'all, welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. We got a special guest today. First timer here, man, on the Anthony Sain Show. Matt Infield,
My
weekend
guy,
sports
man.
anchor from Action News 5. Be back in my day, man, we just called it Channel 5.
No doubt.
Yeah,
It's a legendary station. I know. I'm lucky to work there.
Yeah, it's back when we had we had like 3 or 4 channels in the city, and that was one of them. Channel 5, you, of course, work with the legendary Doc Holliday.
Yes, sir.
You come behind legendary Jarvis Greer.
Yes, sir.
Jack Eden, all these type of guys, who came through there. So
Joe Birch.
Yeah, Joe Birch. Yeah, all these guys. Yeah,
still there,
so,
legend.
Yeah, man, for sure. So Channel 5, man. Everybody know. That's the station here in the city of Memphis. Memphis Wrestling came through there.
Yeah, of course. I know about the stories with The Rock and all that.
Yeah, so all that. That was a crazy thing to think about too, man. The live that a Memphis news station had professional wrestlers, a whole studio set up for this
studio.
No, it literally blew my mind the first time I was
You heard about that, right?
I walked in the studio. I was like, "You're telling me The Rock wrestled here on Saturday mornings?" And they're
Absolutely.
like, "Yeah." I'm like,
But a
"It's
live
a
audience
wild
in
thought.
there.
Wild thought."
Have you
They said-
seen it though?
They said they had like 20, 30 people in there.
Yeah.
And it was a show.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Vince
bro.
McMahon was there. Like, it was crazy. There's
Yeah.
so
I did not know
many-
Vince was there.
Yeah,
but
Then
Vince
we
was
had
there.
Magic Land here that happened in the same place. Did you know about that?
No, I did not know about that.
Okay, you remember Magic Land, right?
I know about Candyland, but
No, it was. Come on, man.
Oh, my
It was
bad.
a guy. I can't remember his name, but he was on the news too. And he did a magic show for kids on.
Well, I know that Dave Brown, who's a legendary meteorologist, Channel 5, he was really, really involved with the wrestling stuff. I'm not sure if that like expanded anything beyond that, but I know
it
he
wasn't
was
Dave,
heavily
it was
involved
another
in
dude.
that.
I can't remember his name. He did Magic Land though.
Might have to ask Jarvis about that one.
And they did the McDonald's coloring thing. Picture page thing, something, but that's a definite memory I have as a kid for sure.
I don't remember that at all, man.
I can take you back on that one, man.
Oh, yeah,
I can take you
did.
back.
Yeah.
But like I said, Matt is here. Matt covers all sports for Action News 5. We'll start off talking about the Grizzlies, the major show in town.
Yes, sir.
Been a rough year. You've been here. This is your second year here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You've seen us go from second seed to what they are now with all the injuries. With guys like Vince and Gigi emerging, adding Marcus Smart to this lineup. Just basic maturity we've seen from this team in the last 265 days, the return of Brandon Clark, all these type of things. Do you think what you see now is a team that, even with the advances you've seen in the Western Conference, teams like Oklahoma City taking that leap, Sacramento taking the leap, teams like Houston coming and biting the people's heels. Do you think this Grizzlies team is a team that can get back in that top 4 in the West, first, second seed in the West type conversation?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that a lot of it is predicated on what they're going to do this summer. I know you put up a poll on Twitter the other day about what they should do with this theoretical lottery pick or how they should acquire this big man that they're clearly going to add. But, I mean, listen, when you think about OKC and that big three out there with Shea, Chet, and Jalen Williams, I mean, I'll put Ja, Jaren, and Dez up with those guys. And you think about the rotation in general next year, I mean, we're talking 10 deep. Gigi and Vince and Luke Kennard, theoretically, if he's there, and Marcus Smart and Brandon Clark. There's not going to be many better 10-man rotations on a team that is both young and playoff tested at this point. And they've taken their lumps in the playoffs, but I think that we do have to remember how young the core of this team is with Ja, Jaren, and Dez. So, yeah, I mean, I think the worst thing that could have happened this year was Ja was suspended, everyone was hurt, team sucked, and nothing good came out of it. But I think that the exact opposite happened. I think you kind of trimmed some of the fat, some guys that weren't going to be major factors whenever this team hits their peak. You developed, obviously, Gigi and Vince, which, I mean, just totally kind of changes the calculus moving forward. So this year has been tough to watch, but I think that it can be beneficial big picture.
You mentioned the draft, and you mentioned the offseason, things like that. Matt Infield, GM of the Grizzlies, how would you manage this offseason? Like, how would you go into the draft, those type of things?
What pick do I have?
You've got to pick that based on your order, 7.
7 or 6? I mean, I'm going to be honest. I think I would probably look to trade the pick. I tweeted something. I think it was something you put up the other night. The Les Snead, the GM of the Rams a couple years ago, said F them picks. Maybe not quite that strong, but to me, I think that unless you get the number 1 pick, and I haven't gotten really like super deep into the draft prospects this year. I'm still on NFL drafts guys first, but the Sarr fella from France, right?
Right.
So I mean, that's someone who's intriguing. Just think about how he could play with Jaren in the front court. But short of that, man, like I don't think that you should be banking on a rookie to come in next year, because I think that you should look at next year with everyone healthy, championship contention window back open. And throwing a rookie into that mix, that in a class that, I'm sure this class is going to turn out to be fine, but there's not a Wemby in this class or someone like that, or even like a Paolo Banchero that could probably make that kind of impact right away. So if you don't have that, then use the assets, use the flexibility that you gained trading Steve-O and X at the deadline, and try to get an established player. Who that established player is, I don't know. I don't know if they're in the front court. I don't know if it's more backcourt depth or whatnot, but I think I would be trying to flip it into a more proven commodity.
I'm a little different on that. I've changed a lot. I've kind of settled on keeping the pick at this point. I just think just in my time of just being around Zach Kleiman and just seeing how he moves, I don't think there's any way that he's going to let a possible high talent, low contract guy not be.
Do you have someone in mind?
I don't really care. Like my whole thing is like, you need a big for sure. There's a lot of guys that can score, dribble, pass, and shoot in this draft, and you know there's not a Wemby in this draft, but you don't need that. You've got your core players. You just need somebody that can be big, get rebounds, and whatever.
I've seen a lot of. Have you looked into Dillingham of Kentucky? I've seen a lot of him. A little bit of Reed Shepherd. Like as a backup to Ja, Dalton Connect, obviously the Tennessee connection there too. So there's some good players. I just don't think that there's a bona fide like can't miss guy.
Now Tennessee connection don't matter. This ain't Tennessee.
Nah, I know. I'm aware. This is Memphis' own city state. I know.
I just wanted to establish that real quick with you. But like I said, my whole thing is, even if you draft for big, because right now, as far as bigs are concerned, I'm looking hard at the Donovan Clingan kid. He's like,
talk about UConn.
Yeah, he's like 19, 20 years old, 7'2", anywhere between 7'2", 7'4". I've heard him being listed as. He's a legit 7 foot. I think conditioning is an issue with him, but I think once he gets in the league and he gets NBA, conditioning and training, I think he could be an even better player than what we're seeing in college. That's one thing I'm looking at with him.
And I think a big part of like this equation too, when you think about it, I've thought this going back to last year. I wasn't sure how realistic it was going to happen, but I've long thought that their best playoff, sorry to steal a term from the Warriors, but their best playoff death lineup is always going to involve Jaren playing the 5.
Regardless of who you draft. Yeah.
And I think that we're slowly, now obviously like the FIBA experience last year was not good with that, but I think we've slowly seen things this year that suggest that they're kind of moving towards that. I think Zach Kleiman actually brought that up in his post-trade deadline press conference, that they want to see more of that. I certainly think that any idea that you're going to find another big in the same ilk of Steven Adams is probably a fantasy.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to find that. I think you need another big, but if you're going for that mold, good luck.
Do you have any level of concern that this team with just Jaren Jackson Jr. and Desmond Bane as your top two guys isn't any better than it's been? Like, even the beginning of the season where you still had, the Luke Kennard, it's Marcus Smart, those kind of guys were kind of available as well. Do you have any concern that they're not better than what they are with one guy that's an all-star and another guy who's definitely an all-star level scorer? Because I'm not really there to the point I'm like, well, I'm concerned about next year because those guys aren't better, because I've seen them be better with even less talent. Yep. With the three of them, Jaren, and Bane or whatever. But what's your level of concern seeing that they're not?
It's kind of interesting because, I mean...
Or is it just a mental thing? Because my thing is like, okay, maybe these guys have mentally decided, okay, this isn't a winning season, so you're not going to get winning basketball. I don't know. What do you
But I guess the counter to that would be at the beginning of the season, they were thinking, we got to keep this thing afloat for when Ja comes back, and then we really make our push. And that was pretty ugly, too. It's interesting. I've actually never thought about it like that. I don't know that I'm concerned, but I would certainly say any arguments against Ja Morant and his value have been quashed this year completely.
Yeah, for sure. Switching over to University of Memphis was not the season that we wanted to see, of course. I got a Taylor Jenkins question, so I'm going to come back to that, though.
Okay.
Because we're going to talk about coaches, so I'm going to come back. Wasn't the season that we wanted to see. You're an outsider. You're not from Memphis, right?
Nope.
So you understand who Penny Hardaway is because he's a global name. But what do you think of not only what do you think about how Penny is handled here? Because you covered other media markets. This isn't your first media market.
How he's treated.
Right.
So I think that I think that it's probably between player, city, and university. It's probably the most unique intersection of those three things, probably in the country off the top of my head. I mean, you've got the guy who, in my opinion, I call the godfather of sports in this city. And if someone that's from here, I don't know if I'm wrong on that, but certainly he is the most notable sports figure in the history of this city, without question. Coaching at the university that he played at, that he had success at, and is trying to bring back to relevance. I think that, obviously I do the show with Penny on Channel 5, and I have a good working relationship with him. I've got nothing but awesome things to say about Penny the person. I will say there is a section of his core fans that maybe are a little delusional and look at everything with him through rose-colored glasses. Now, what happened this season is not all on him. I mean, players play, and players, these guys, and their lack of motivation and want to, for a lot of them, like that has to be a big part of the discussion. Now, do I think that there are probably things that Penny wishes he could do over this year? 100% I do. I think that because of who he is in the city, I think that you have a part of the fan base that is way too light on him, and I think you have a part of the fan base that is way too harsh on him at the same time. It's kind of tough to find the middle ground on him. Because,
we joke about this all the time. Memphis is the only city where you might go to a media availability and a guy's wearing the shirt I got on.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
You might see me in a media availability with a Penny Hardaway shirt on. Because, Penny Hardaway was like a rock star to us. He was, when I was like 8th grade, 9th grade in school, Penny Hardaway it was incredible, bro. It was, and that's the age where you're really molding who you are as a sports fan, and you had this local hero who was one of the best players in the NBA.
Do you know how often he would go viral if he played in today's day?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Every night.
You watch some of the stuff Penny was doing back then. Dude still ain't doing it.
I saw some of his. I've seen a lot of his NBA stuff over the years, even before I got here. For the first time the other day, I watched an extended clip on Twitter of some of his Memphis State stuff. Bro,
oh, he was crazy,
bro. I still don't know if there's really a player. So, okay, I'll give you a little thought exercise. So I asked him a couple weeks ago on the show, one of our last episodes of the season, which players in the NBA remind him today of him? Who would you say?
Of Penny?
Yeah, he gave you two names.
Man, I'm going to tell you, somebody said a name. Somebody called Ja Morant a shorter Penny Hardaway.
I could see that, but that's not who Penny said.
Blew me. That was spot on to me. Who did Penny say reminds him of him?
Two guys. I don't. You might get one. I don't think you'll get both.
I know Tatum is his guy.
Tatum is one.
So I know he probably said Tatum. And if he said Tatum, he probably said another big wing and not a guard. I don't know, man. You gotta tell me.
Halliburton. which was kind of surprising. But the long limbs, I'm like, Halliburton doesn't jump like he did, or like have any of the athleticism, but like the biomechanics of it. I can kind of see it.
Yeah, that's a good one for sure. Going to the future, where do you see Tiger Athletics in the next 5 years, basketball and football?
I think football's in. We got to call it what it is right now. Kenny and I were just talking off camera before. We said this a couple times. Like, imagine at the beginning of this fall sports season, saying that at the end of spring, the football program would have more juice behind it at the current moment than the basketball program. And I know that the basketball program is bigger and there are more basketball fans throughout the city, but the football team has a lot of really good momentum behind it right now going into next season. And I think that the basketball program will be fine. I think that the one thing that has to be acknowledged is if Penny is going to build these portal-heavy teams, which, he's going to have another one next year because he doesn't have a choice. He's got, at most, I think, 4 guys that can return next year. So there's going to be volatility year to year. Sometimes, some years, you'll have a group that meshes really well together, and then other years, you have one like this year where it just kind of all comes apart for egos or roles or whatever it might be. So I think that's going to be part of the game, and maybe that changes the way that he recruits moving forward. I think that big picture, when you look at the athletic program in general, I think Laird has a lot of really great ideas. I think that getting the upgrades for the football stadium is really, really big because Laird has said that was the number one thing that has been holding them back from getting into a power conference, whatever a power conference looks like in 3 or 4 years, because it's changing every freaking 2 years and it's so tough to keep up with. But once you get into that kind of realm, the equation changes a little bit as far as your competitiveness and how you're viewed and the money and the postseason appearances and whatnot. So I think the stadium's big. I think that this is, going back to football, I think this year is really big. If they can be the group of 5 participant in the college football playoff, I think that would be enormous. And one more thing on Penny, talk about this whole thing, big picture. My whole argument with Penny and the people that are ready to run Penny out of town, I think that I can acknowledge that. Are there better X's and O's coaches in the country? Of course, 100%. But you fire Penny Hardaway, you get rid of Penny Hardaway. Who are you getting in here that is going to be an upgrade for your program long term? Because guess what? Someone like Will Wade's the hot name. Will Wade is going to come here for 2 or 3 years, have success, and he's going to bounce. So I think that you kind of have to look at it with a big picture view.
That's a good way to look at it for sure. Man, I had something in my head. I was thinking about the wrap up. How about wrap up the interview? I lost my next question.
Hey, we got to talk about dude from the New York Knicks or not?
I got enough of it.
You wanted to ask about Taylor Jenkins too, remember?
Yeah, I know Taylor Jenkins. I got one more thing though. Oh, outside of the Grizzlies, Tiger basketball, Tiger football, which are, of course, the big 3 here in the city of Memphis. What sports do you enjoy covering outside of those 3?
That's a good question. I love football, so I have enjoyed covering the showboats and just having having football in the spring. I'm a big Cardinals fan in baseball, so having the Redbirds, their AAA affiliate, and being in a city where there's probably more Cardinal fans than any other team.
I bet that is, though, for you.
A lot of Braves fans as well, but definitely more Cardinal fans than anywhere else. That's been really cool as well. Man, I would love the PGA event a lot more if it wasn't so unbelievably hot every year, man.
Yeah.
I remember Thursday last year, round 1, it rained a little bit in the morning, but it wasn't super hot the rest of the day. I was like, all right, this is cool. And then Friday rolls around, and it's 95 degrees the rest of the weekend. I'm like, this is tough, man. But no, I think that it's actually funny. When I was at my previous job in a small market in Wausau, Wisconsin, I was kind of mapping out what would be a good kind of market to come to after that. And Memphis was one that always popped on my mind. I'm like, okay, it's not an enormous market, but you've got you've got an NBA team, you've got a pretty, University of Memphis is a major Division I program, but it's a pretty big deal, especially around here. Yeah. And then you've got other minor league and relevant sports around that, and lo and behold, it actually happens. So it's a cool sports market, man. And then obviously you've got people have their feelings about Ole Miss, but obviously that's in the market as well. So, yeah, man, I don't really think that there's a sport that I don't like covering. I want to ask you real quick. You're a big 901 FC guy.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
How did that happen?
Man, well, first of all,
I feel like there's a story coming.
First of all, I'm black, so that don't really make any sense. So I do understand the whole thing.
No, but I'm just saying, like, it ain't even that. I'm just saying, like, I always find it interesting because I never thought of Memphis as a soccer city, but like, there's definitely like a pretty nice little legion of fans, like Bluff City Mafia and whatnot.
When they first got here, I was downtown one time, just doing downtown shit, and I saw a horde of white people coming my way. So I was like, "Oh shit, it's going
Probably
down."
coming from like Nebraska.
It's like it's going down.
It's going down. Someone megaphone call.
Yeah, J-Red 6 in Memphis. Tiki torches everywhere. Like, oh shit, it's going down. They finna come get us. So I see a mob of white people, right? Like a horde, like
mob of white
and they're
people.
chanting something. I'm like, oh shit. Like they're coming my way, right?
Oh, you thought it was real trouble when you
Yeah, I
heard the
thought it
chant.
was going down. So I looked into it and saw where it came from. But I knew we had a soccer team here. And I went there on a date with a lady one time, and I really enjoyed the game. And I just kind of said, man, I want to go to more 901.
It's good. It's a good vibe, right?
Right. So I said it and I tagged them, and then they tagged me. They hit me back.
Nice.
And then I started, well, let me just cover the game so I can go for free. I mean, I actually gonna pay for this, you know what I mean? So I started going to the games on the media pass, and then that just kind of turned into me really enjoying going there.
You know what's crazy,
what I
man?
mean? So, yeah.
This is the start of the third season.
Then my son plays too.
Does he? Okay, cool.
Hold on. I actually got more story to that because my son plays for his school.
Okay.
And when he transferred,
How old's your son?
He's 10.
Okay.
When he transferred to the school he was at, he came from a public school where the kids just played basketball, football. And he transferred to a private school, and the kids over there are really into soccer. Like when they have the recess time, they like to play soccer, right? And Gabe was like, I can't stand that crap. Like, because Gabe's kind of a heavy kid. He can't really do all that. You know what I mean? So he's like, He's like, man, I can't do all that. Like, I'm good. So we started playing. He brought some soccer. He downloaded some soccer video game. It wasn't FIFA though.
Not FIFA. Okay.
It was some other online only
game. Rocket League is the other big one out of the way.
Some other crap. It was free. So Gabe was playing that, and so him being intrigued made me more intrigued, and then the other stuff just kind of happened.
So my dad.
But it started with the horde of white people walking up on me, and I asked, "What was that?"
So my dad's from London. My dad is the biggest soccer fan I know. Like I'm talking like during the Premier League season, like man's got one game on the TV, he's got another game on the iPad. Like enormous soccer fan. Tried getting me into it at a young age. I hated it. I got so bored by it so fast. Which he wanted me to be a good soccer player, and he's a swimmer, so he wanted me to swim. I became neither one of those things. But I will say this is the start of my third season covering 901 FC, and I still have not been to a game, and I really want to because it looks like a fun vibe.
Yeah, it is because like I can watch the whole thing and just be locked in the whole time and not be distracted. If I go to Grizzly games, man, I cannot lock in. Like either it's like something happens, or I know everybody on media rows, so I'm talking, I'm bullshitting, or I go get some food. But no, it's not a 1 FC game. I guess it's cause like the Grizzlies and like doing this show, this is work. Like so, it's like I gotta lock in to watch this type of to do this. But like if it's not a 1 FC, I have no work interest. Like it's total relaxation to me, so I can.
It's interesting. I don't know where you stand on this. For me, even when like I watch games of any sport when I'm off the clock, I kind of can't turn like not the analytical, but like I'm always trying to like notice little things, like scout players, like what teams do. Like I kind of can't turn that off. I kind of enjoy it, but there are some times where I kind of wish I would just sit back and be like, I'm just watching the game. Like there's nothing else to it.
And I can't watch a Grizzlies game without feeling like I got to go on Twitter and talk about something.
Yeah, of course,
But speaking of Twitter, Taylor Jenkins, he had a pass all year pretty much, right? Because of the injuries, all that type of stuff. Last night he said some dumb shit. So, all right, that's why we want your ass up out of here for saying goofball stuff like that, saying that, you know, we had a strategy for Hachimura. Maybe we should have changed it earlier.
He did say that, yeah.
I'm like, dude, the man knocked down 19 threes, whatever. Like, at some point, at what point did you realize that your strategy wasn't working? What's your outside view of Taylor Jenkins? You weren't here at the beginning of when he got here, so you got here when the Grizzlies were a good team. He was the coach.
Yep.
I'm going to give that assessment of who he is. Who is Taylor Jenkins to you?
I was going to say, by the way, I tweeted this, but if Rui Hachimura played the Grizzlies every night, he'd be a fucking Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah.
He would be like what he did in the playoffs last year, and then this year. I don't know why he took that shot at the city last night, too. Although you brought the point, like he might have heard some weird racial stuff. It's definitely not outside.
This is the South, man.
The realm possibilities, no doubt. I think here's where I'm at with Taylor. I think that if you ask me, is he the best in-game strategist and manager in the league? No, I would say no. There are certainly better than him. The one thing that I think universally he has to be given credit for this year is with all the horrendous circumstances this team has gone through this year, injury, suspension, everything else. I mean, God, man, like Woj the Grizzlies have to have set a record for Woj notifications about 10-day contracts and hardship guys and whatnot.
This was the record-breaking year.
Yeah. Through all of that, and no matter who they played against, no matter who they have had or not had, they clearly bust their ass and play hard for him every single night. I do think that there is value in that, and clearly he's such an interesting guy too, because like I think he's got to be a totally different person in the locker room than he is with the media, because like he's very he's not the most coach speak coach I've ever covered, but like he's pretty high up there. But like clearly, I mean, all the players really like him. So having that buy-in does matter. Do I think that he needs to improve in some areas within the in-game strategy stuff and the matchups and whatnot and making adjustments for them to reach their peak? Probably. So yeah, I guess that's where I'm at. I think he's like kind of like a middle-of-the-road in-game coach who has great buy-in from his locker room, and he deserves credit for that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but like I say all the time, man, the proof will be in the pudding. Next year, your roster is going to be the best roster this organization's ever had, and either you're the guy or you're not. And you'll find that out in the beginning months of the season. You won't find that out in the playoffs. So,
real quick, what does next season success look like to you? Like, do you have to win 2 playoff series?
You got to win at least 1. And you got to look like you're supposed to be there in the second round.
So you can lose in the second round, but you have to make it competitive.
I think that my personal expectations are this team should be a team that looks like a conference finals team.
Probably.
And
I think
if you
that's
lose,
fair.
it needs to be like a battle. Like it didn't need to look like that Golden State series where you kind of got sunned a little bit in that Warriors series where you look like kids out there. I don't want to look like that. And you definitely need to get out of the first round.
Progress is not always linear, like we've brought that up before. And like I do also think that like there's an aspect of like it takes a lot of these teams longer than you think. I mean, and that's not to say like there shouldn't be expectations next year, but man, think about how long the Celtics and this core have been together, and like they're probably at a point now where like if they don't win a championship this year, then there are probably going to be some hard discussions to be had. Yeah. But I think I'm with you. Like you definitely have to be firmly in that top of the West conversation next year. And are you going to be ready to beat theoretically at Denver next year? Maybe that's tough, but I think you got to be in the conversation. Yeah,
you need to look like your seed. Like if you're the second seed, you need to be a team that looks like a conference finals type team. You know what I mean? For sure. But this is Matt Infield, man, weekend sports anchor for WMC Action News, Channel 5, all that together. It's been so many names. It's Channel 5. Action Local Memphis is Channel 5.
Just roll that, man.
Sure, Channel 5. My guy, Matt Infield. My guy, man. About to take a break. When we come back, what we doing, Kenny? We recording at a weird time.
3-pointer.
The 3-pointer. Yeah, there you go. The 3-pointer. Here. When I enter the Sain show, we'll see you guys in a minute.
When we talk about the offensive skill group, Seth Hennigan, Rock Taylor, Demir Blankumsey, Sutton Smith, Mario Anderson Jr. Obviously, they're at the top of the AAC. It's just not close.
No.
But like when you look at how not close it is, it's kind of insane. Like when we look around the country and we look at skill position groups, I don't think it's close. And the group of 5, Memphis is really outpacing everybody by a damn country mile.
Just truthfully and honestly think that the end-all be-all with this skill position group is Mario Anderson. Funny enough, if you rewind the clock, we laughed about him including Memphis, I think, in his list of top schools maybe a week or two before he committed. And you look at the distance between him and all the other running backs in the conference, he could put together an absolutely massive year.
Tune into On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
TJ, before we get started, I want you to give a pat to Trey on his back. He needs it right now. I need you to give him a hug.
That man is down bad. Real
Trey
bad.
is down.
Welcome to the show.
Trey is down so bad right now.
I was about 350 yards away from the studio and was pulled over by a Shelby County sheriff and given a hands-free device ticket. I'm not getting points on my right now. I have 3 points. I've scored 3 points tonight, and that is 3 more points than Jordan Brown scored in 10 minutes the other day.
Savage, dude.
Savage.
As my premiums of insurance are going to go up by 50 to 100%, possibly. But I will be going to 201 on May the 20th or whatever, 24th at 1:30 p.m.
I have zero faith in that actually working in your favor.
I have gone to court multiple times to fight a ticket, and literally me just showing up gets it dismissed.
That dude's going to be there waiting on you, for sure.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. Shout out to my guy Matt Infield, man. Great interview with him. TV guys are different, man.
Yeah,
because
they are. Yeah, they are.
They typically do their segments on the news like in 5 minutes, and that's it. Like they got 5 minutes to talk about everything they got to talk about. So when they finally get a chance, we say, hey, man, hey, you got 25 to 30, go, right?
Yeah.
Like they really start getting stuff out.
Yep.
But they also could give you so much in a little bit of time because they're used to compressing so much into a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
So you give them 25, 30 minutes, man, they can go. For sure.
They give you a whole novel.
Yeah.
But no, man, Matt is
Matt's
I've
good.
gotten to know Matt over the last couple of years since he's been in Memphis, man. He's one of my favorite dudes in the city that covers the obviously I cover a lot of the Tiger stuff and God, on the road, man, that dude is just a blast.
Yeah, something Matt may not know is that Memphis is a checking ass city, and we will wait until you leave to check you. So if you're watching Matt's another swole for no reason ass dude. Being swole is not part of his. Nothing about being swole helps Matt be a good sports reporter at all. Like, dude, just swole.
He just swole.
Just a buff ass dude
for no reason.
Tight shirt on, just swole for no reason, bro. Like from the Greg Gaston mode, actually. Just swole for no reason. You see Greg commercially get out?
Yeah.
But when I first saw Greg Gaston, I was like, why is this dude so damn big? Like, I had seen Greg, I had heard, his voice, because Greg's got the iconic voice, right?
Right.
But man, when I first saw Greg with like regular clothes on, like this dude is just uncomfortably swole for no reason. And Matt got that same thing going on for sure. But good stuff with my boy Matt, man. But it's the 3-pointer where we talk about 3 things going on in the world of sports. Not all 3 are local, but 2 of these are local things. Let's talk about the Ice Cube thing first, right?
Yeah, dude. That's crazy.
And I saw this yesterday. I was like, oh shit. I asked someone who I respect, why should I? Let me see. I asked somebody, why should I not be pro Ice Cube on this, right? Because I've seen a lot of ladies that have been upset about this on Twitter, and I don't really understand why. I'm not saying they don't have a reason, but I don't understand the reason. I've asked a couple people to break it down for me, and I still don't have a reason I can really stand on as to why they're upset about what he's doing. Some people say the most solid thing I've heard, which is the person who DM'd me, they basically said it's a front. Like he was like, I doubt Cube even has the type of money. I doubt that company is able to even pay out that type of contract to somebody. And it just seems like a publicity stunt for him more than anything, using her as a way to draw attention to his product.
Cool.
Right?
Why are people upset about that then?
Because it's almost like you're pandering. Like there's a real problem with payroll in the WNBA where they're not paying these ladies the money they're supposed to get. And if he's
setting the market.
Right. And he says you're almost making her like a circus act and not treating her like a real athlete. Because if she played in that league, she'd be playing against other guys. It's not a women's league, right? It's not even real basketball. Big Three is horrible, bro. And I've been to a show, man. And I'm like, all right, this is terrible. You know what I mean? Now, as far as him trying to keep his league alive, if he really is offering her $5 million to do this, that's real money. Because there's nothing close to it. She's not gonna make anything close to that salary-wise in the WNBA. But you also would have to ask, would her endorsements drop if she's playing over there.
Absolutely.
As opposed to playing in the WNBA, which is a league on the rise. So I can understand that whole aspect of it. If it was a real thing, hey, that's a real question she's got to ask herself, right? And she's one of those people that will be one of the faces of the WNBA, and that you know that the WNBA has big plans for her, and you just kind of feel that she's part of the next thing. Girls like her, Juju, Bayou Barbie, all these girls. The marketability of the WNBA, man,
it's skyrocketing.
It's about to skyrocket. So I can understand people feeling like, I don't really think you have a real interest in her. You're trying to use her as a circus act. Because she'd be out there playing with dudes. You know what I mean? So you have to wonder, does Ice Cube really have real pure motives with this whole thing? I totally get both sides of it. Like, I'm not mad at Cube because that's a bold move. If you really got $5 million to get that girl, that's a bold ass move. But not for silly basketball. Like, if the big three is silly basketball. I don't know if you've ever been there.
No, but I've seen it. It's silly basketball.
It's terrible. Like, I can't. It's absolutely horrible. Like,
honestly,
I don't want to. Yeah, go ahead.
She would wash those dudes, honestly.
And I don't want to see Caitlin Clark playing against
Katina Mobley,
whoever that kid was. I put on my Twitter yesterday. Jeremy Washburn, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't want to see her playing against him, bro. Or Katina Mobley, who out there looking like Papa Smurf.
Yeah,
like, I don't want to see.
Like, nobody wants to see that.
No, I don't think anybody wants to see that at all.
I could understand. The only thing I could understand some of the response that I've seen is this is an opportunity to continue to see the WNBA grow and develop.
Yeah.
And you are trying to take that away. But in the end, it's her decision, right? Like, she's getting offered. There's nothing saying she has to take that money. Like, she's being offered opportunities. I just think it shows you what kind of a rock star she's going to be.
Oh, yeah.
And what she already is, number one.
Yeah.
And what she's going to be. And it should if that's the running total for her, if $5 million is setting the market for her, man, she might blow the bank up in the WNBA, man.
Yeah. And you look at what Ice Cube does. His thing, he feels away too because he wants to be the official retirement league he wants an actual partnership with the NBA. The NBA doesn't want to partner with him in that way. But, I think he had this may be a Mandela effect, but didn't Jaylen Brown go play a game with him one time?
No, I don't think so.
Did it happen in real life? In my timeline, it did. but yeah.
Do you want me to check, though? I don't remember that.
Yeah, Chase, I remember hearing something about Jaylen Brown playing in the Big 3 game before.
I'd be stunned if Boston let him do that.
Yeah, and like you look at and people saying, well, she can do both, right? No, they're not. They compete. Like, WNBA is going on at the same time.
Oh, shit.
Jaylen Brown played in the Big 3, right?
Season 6.
I told you, yeah.
All-Star game.
I knew I wasn't tripping, bro. I knew I remember Jaylen Brown. Something
Dude,
about
that's
him.
Wild. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I hate to knock stuff that's especially owned by minorities, right? When a brother like Ice Cube, entrepreneur, starts his own league, going against the mighty juggernaut, the NBA. I hate to knock it, but I just don't enjoy it. I went to a Big 3 show and was bored out of my ass, and it was insanely long, bro. And it's like I was just kind of waiting for the halftime, the intermission stuff, like the artists to perform. Like, it was like I took no enjoyment from watching Amari Stoudemire do stuff in the half court.
These guys aren't.
Yeah, I mean, man.
There's no way there's no way people think it's it's the same competitive.
Yeah, and I didn't. Yeah,
as the WNBA and the NBA, it's not a competition to the.
Yeah, and watching Michael Beasley look like Michael Jordan out there,
right?
I
it
think
just shows you everything you need to know about the competition value, the level there.
And my thing is, if you're gonna do something like that, man, just bring back the old. Make it another hip hop version of the Globetrotters, like the And1 thing. Do something like an And1 mixtape type thing. But watching old dudes play half court 3-on-3, I'm super out, man. But that whole thing they do with the Taco Bell run for the border ball, whatever thing they do, if it's a challenge, you go 1-on-1 for the play.
Yeah, that's dope.
Damn, the hell just flew in front of my face. Anyway, I'm tripping. But no, man. But yeah. But, Ice Cube, I fool with you, bro. I want your league to grow. I want your league to do its thing. But I do understand some of the kickback he's getting from a lot of ladies out here. A lot of women are upset about what Cube is doing with attempting to do with Caitlin Clark.
I don't get that, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I just think people
sometimes when women are upset about something, I don't have to get it. But it's like the fact that y'all are that adamant about it. Help me see it the way that you see it.
Help me understand it. And if you're in the if you're upset about it and you're in the on Twitter in the comments, whatever, let us know, man, because I'd really like to understand. Because in the end, to me, it literally is just an offer that sets the market. Because there's no way if he does the $5 million. Like, what if she were to come out today and say yes? Like, he's gonna have to produce it, right? Like.
Or he'll come out and say that,
oh, never mind.
Contracts broke down. We feel like it'll be, we don't want to compete with the WNBA like that. It'll be something. But it might be real. But a lot of people are saying they think that he's bullshitting. They think he don't have a real $5 million offer for her. And he's just pandering. And he's kind of making fun of a real situation that these ladies are underpaid in their league. They think it's not real.
That sounds uber sensitive to me.
But I'm gonna say this too though, bro. Like, if Jackie Robinson happened in 2024, it probably would not be perceived the way that it was back then. And it probably, or the way that we thought it was perceived back then. Because the whole Jackie Robinson thing was like, we want the black audience from the Negro leagues. Yep. We want that audience, but we don't particularly want that crowd. So let's get, we want that, but we don't want all the players.
We don't want we don't want to merge the leagues.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I can see people looking at it like, you know what, man? Like, stop playing in our face when it come down to Caitlin Clark. Like,
okay.
I can see something like that.
Now you've opened my eyes to a little bit more.
Because Major League Baseball at the time, they didn't really want black players to be there, but they wanted to get that money because the Negro Leagues was their competition. It was growing.
Was absolutely a competition.
Because you had these super athletes out there playing baseball.
Satchel Paige, Josh Gibson.
And they were personalities, and they would put on a show.
God,
it was swag, and they're like, I want that audience.
Right.
But I ain't gonna get all of them. Let's go get one and see what happens.
Let's go get one and
hey, man,
let's dip our toes in a little bit.
Bro, I watched a movie. I can't remember what the guy's name was. I can't remember the name of the movie either, but it came out last year on a streaming service about one of the first black NBA players, right? And this wasn't a live camera in there. Like, this is a reenactment. So it probably was all fake. But I don't know. It looked real as hell when you think about it. But they were in there. It was a group of white people that were the NBA owners talking about what it would be like if we actually let black people in the league. It was the craziest thing. Like, come on, you can't be serious. You can't seriously think this. Man, I was like,
imagine being the writer of that script.
Imagine that being today. Like, imagine thinking that bringing black people to the NBA was a bad thing.
Yep.
And when some people say the NBA, hey, you ask me, the NBA did not start until black people came in. That mess was not the NBA. I say it didn't start until Magic and Bird got there, just to be honest with you. But I've said that here a ton of times. But yeah. Ice Cube, if you're being for real, be for real. It's all good. But if you bullshitting, sit that ass down for sure. And then even if he is for real, man, like, your league is like is not serious basketball.
Get your league situation right before you start making offers like that.
Yeah, and like I said, I support Cube. I want to see him do his thing. But it's like, I can understand him getting this type of kickback.
And you also, to wrap this up, I guess, but you also got to know, Caitlin Clark is an ultimate competitor. She ain't playing on the bullshit.
She ain't even be out there screwing around
she's not gonna go big three.
With Steve Francis.
What's she gonna do? Only play for the big three for the 6 games that they play every year?
Yeah, she ain't even be out there giving work to Bino Uter.
Breaking Katina Mobley down.
Bino Uter. What is Bino? Is he even in? What is he doing?
What's his name?
Mario Chalmers.
Mario Chalmers. Tony Allen. Tony Allen, lock her up.
TA, lock her ass up. Oh,
first team.
Oh, man. Because my thing
Nate
is,
Robinson getting that ass beat.
Yeah, because my thing is, bro, you've had opportunities to reach out to a lot of dudes. Like, DeAndre Williams, you know what I mean? Because he's kind of done that, though. He's got some guys who are like fringe NBA dudes that he's kind of reached out to, too. But I don't really know what Cube is trying to do.
That's his next step. If he wants to make the big three serious, go get some of those fringe dudes. Get your money up.
Yep.
And offer dudes who
get NIL money, go get them
money, who are looking to oversee stuff, who are looking, get them money.
Yep.
And get your gameplay up.
Yeah, go get Javon Quinlan.
That's exactly the name I was about to say.
Quinlan probably feel like, man, I should just go play in the big three.
Yeah, let's go play big three.
Oh man. Big Malco. Big three.
Big Malco.
Oh, Malco would be a beast of the big three.
Could you imagine?
Malco would look like Shaq out there. Shit. Malco's a good ass player, man. Like, that type of stuff.
With him not having to run up and down the court?
No, it's over.
Let that man.
Oh, Malco will be a monster.
Eating the paint.
Yeah. But anyway, man, number 2. the cap master himself, LeBron James. Like, LeBron's at the point now, man, where it's like, man, I don't trust nothing coming out your mouth, LeBron.
Really? Is he that bad?
Bro, go in your free time.
Yeah.
Go on YouTube and look up LeBron James lying. And just look up some of the bullshit LeBron. Like books he said he's read, people he's inspired by, teams he's a fan of. Like, bro, LeBron just be lying his ass off, bro. Like, and there's like a 10-year run with like if clips on YouTube. Like, a guy put together all the lies, like all the times.
I see people say that a lot about him.
Bro, it's a thing. Go look it up on YouTube. Like,
that's funny.
Like, they'll ask bro a question. He'll just start asking unsolicited. He'll just start telling unsolicited lies.
Just start throwing out facts, and you're like, wait a second.
Not particularly like
when were you born?
Not particularly like lies like that's untrue, but it's like what am I trying to say, man? Like
embellishments.
Like just they'll ask him about somebody. Oh man, that's actually my favorite team, man. I was just watching them. Like, bro, you're lying.
Oh, I was just watching them.
And people's like, bro, you literally had a game that night. Like, you did not watch that game. LeBron be lying his ass off, man. But he tells a story yesterday. He's saying like he was talking about Gigi. He said, man, Gigi, I've been a fan of his, man, ever since Peace Jam. He was on Chris Paul's team, and I was there, man. He was dominating Peace Jam. And I've been a fan of his game ever since. And he played for my nephew Michi, plays for South Carolina. I'm like, what are you talking about? Who the hell is Michi?
He got connection. Who is Michi? My nephew. My real life nephew. Is that all right? Is that prime Travis Hunter type situation? Or is that...
I looked it up. I said, bro, I'm finna find a LeBron James lie. This shit finna go viral. Like, I'm finna find a lie right now. So he goes. That's real. He does have a play nephew, this Michi kid that plays for South Carolina. That played with Gigi, covenant brother, play cousin type thing. So he does have a nephew that's Michi. And I looked up Gigi in the Peace Jam, and it does say Gigi Jackson put on a show in front of LeBron James at the Peace Jam. So like, all right, he can stand on
Chris
there.
Paul is one of his best friends, and so maybe
that's what made people think he was lying, because Chris Paul just came out
and said something about it.
Yeah, I had Gigi Jackson on my team, so I could see LeBron knowing that happened, came back and got his lie in right quick or whatever. So yeah. LeBron was not lying on that. He did keep up with Gigi, but that just shows the testament of who Gigi is. Like, that guys in the league, one of the greatest players of all time, are aware of who he is. Yep. There was also some talk this morning about Gigi because of a clip. Yeah, that's another thing too, man. Like, stop talking to players during the damn game, bro.
Okay, I know what he said. Whatever. Is that not a lame clip to you? Like, putting a camera up in his face.
Man, turn up, Gigi. Go on, turn up, man.
That's lame to me.
Let that man hoop, man.
That man's working right now.
Why are you talking to Gigi in the middle of the damn game? It's about turn up. And then Gigi's like, man, I got to get the ball. And here's the thing about Gigi, man. I'm glad I'm going here. Here's the thing about Gigi. Gigi is a kid in the NBA, bro. Like, young age and maturity-wise, he's a kid. Being a preacher's son, I understand that Gigi probably was sheltered as shit, bro. Because I was as a kid, right? So I can see a timeline where Gigi Jackson lived a very sheltered life, and a lot of things he's experiencing for the first time with $1 million paycheck in his back pocket, right? And also the celebrity that comes with being an elite level basketball player in general, even since high school. Gigi is going to be a maturity project for this organization. There are going to be times where his basketball game is progressing. He's learning this, he's adding this to his game. He's maturing on the court.
Right.
He may be well ahead of where he is his actual man maturity, right? And that's going to be an additional project.
The emotional maturity.
That's another project that the Grizzlies are going to have to master with him. You understand what I'm saying?
Is that what we heard on that video an example of that?
Yeah, it clearly is. I mean, when fans are talking to you like that, you don't tell a fan with a phone, well, I got to get the ball.
Because he saw the phone.
Right, and do I agree with Gigi? Yes. Because
was he wrong?
And
no.
That plus the comments that Taylor Jenkins made after the game is what made me say, yeah, that reminded me, you on the clock next year, dude. Because a guy like Gigi, bro, you can say what you want. Gigi knows when he's on national television, and he knows when he's playing against LeBron James. Yep. And in that particular game, all right, man, y'all really out here featuring Marty McFly Daddy from Back to the Future, a.k.a. Jake LaRavia, but I'm out here in the corner. You You know what I mean? Like, this dude's literally got the ball in his hand. Y'all tell him to do whatever he wants to do. But I'm out here looking like.
We know why they're doing that, though.
But, bro, that's still stupid to me.
It's stupid, but we know
because no matter
why
what you're doing, if you trade Jake LaRavia, you're gonna have to add a trade asset to get him out of here. You're not moving Jake.
But maybe
LaRavia.
only 1 second
no
instead of
trade
two.
value.
Maybe 1 second
Maybe
instead
they
of
can
two.
cut the amount of second-round picks it'll take. Get it out of the first-round pick range to move him, right?
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna lie, man. If a team eats his salary, you might have to give him a first-round pick to do that. Like, that's probably what it's going to be if you want to get that dude off your roster.
Right.
I just think that the development of Gigi Jackson is way more important than what you have with Jake, have or don't have with Jake LaRavia at the end of the day. Because one dude, you're talking about being a starting 5, top forward player on your team type guy in the next year or two, as opposed to a guy who at the most is a 13, 14 man on your bench.
Right.
Who anything he's doing on the court, you don't want him. You don't even care if he can do it or not. When everybody
It doesn't
else is
matter.
back.
Yeah.
Because I was good to see him knocking down shots last night, but congrats, bro. Whatever.
It means nothing.
It means absolutely nothing. Just being honest with you. So that whole thing is real. But I'm just glad to see that LeBron was not lying about this stuff, because I was about to go mega viral. Like, LeBron, your ass is lying. Like, period.
I also think the little bit that I got to see of the game last night, LeBron was cooking GG last night.
Oh, man, on his ass.
And so I also kind of wonder if there was a level of frustration already on Gigi's part. He was getting cooked and not being featured at the same time. And so it's like, it's tough, man. But like, you know, it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
I think Gigi is the future second dude on this team, third dude on this team. I think he is
a beast.
That
in
guy.
waiting.
Right.
Yeah. Number 3, Rui Hachimura has some interesting comments to make about the city of Memphis yesterday. That was also the first time I've ever heard Rui Hachimura talk. I've never heard him say anything.
It was weird.
I don't know where his accent comes from.
Japan.
No, he was not from there though, bro.
Yeah, he was. He grew up there.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did. He came to college in Gonzaga, but he came from Japan.
He lived in Japan.
Absolutely.
I had no clue of that. But that still don't sound like a Japanese accent. It sounds like he has African descent almost.
Well, he's half black, half.
But bro, I'm black, but I don't sound like I'm from Africa. What is that?
We don't know what his.
You know what I'm saying?
We don't know where his parent is from.
I'm trying to figure out where, because that didn't sound like I grew up in Japan.
That sounded real ignorant what I just said,
Yeah,
but you know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to say.
He's black. You know what I'm like, kid. This shit.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. I don't know his thing. I thought he was a kid that was black mixed with Asian, but his parent might have been, first generation Japanese. But I didn't know it was. I didn't know he's. I don't know. I don't know nothing about Rui really. But I'm going to hate to say translate because I don't want people to think I don't saying the kid don't know English. But I'm going to what's the word? Make sense of break down what I think he was trying to say. Because I don't think he has a problem with the city of Memphis, bro. Like why? Why would you have a problem with Memphis, bro? But
I don't know. You made a good point on Twitter.
Right, but the point, that's what I'm saying. I think that what he's saying is, okay, you got to think about this. Think about his timeline. Rui Hachimura was drafted by the Washington Wizards, who were ass his entire career, right? So if he came to the city, had a good game, whatever. Who are you, dude? Whatever. He didn't have many good games when he was with Washington. You go to L.A., your first time in the playoffs, your first game in the playoffs.
Boom, dude. Hey, real quick. Sorry to interrupt you. I just read about Rui.
What?
Dude, his mom is Makiko from Japan. Mm-hmm. His dad is Zakari Jabil, hails from the small West African country of Benin. Yep.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it ain't just he black and Asian. Like, it was something African in there. Yeah, that's I'm saying, bro. Thank you. But yeah, so I'm gonna go back to all that, right? So if your first playoff series was last year with the Lakers, and your first big game playoff experience was in Memphis, right, on the road, you have a big ass game like he had that game. And the fans were into it. And him and Austin Reeves, all them were talking shit the whole game. Desmond Bain was talking shit. I guarantee you the first ever, Asian slur with vitriol came to his ears in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm willing to bet you that was the first time he ever heard that to that type of level in the playoff, especially in the playoff atmosphere. Because his team he played for sucked. You know what I mean? But when you in a playoff situation, I guarantee you the first real nasty comment he heard came in game 1 in Memphis from somebody saying something. Plus it's someone, because there was a guy that said something horrible in response to my tweet. I was like, dude, you're literally doing exactly what I think the issue was.
What I thought you did. Yeah.
And it was a black dude who said some crazy stuff about Rui. I'm like, bro, come on, fam. at the end of the day, that brother's got African blood in him too. So I'm not gonna act like, whatever. But anyway, he was the guy was like, I mean, you look at Rui, right? He's a guy who's got, like we find out now, has African descent plus Japanese, not African like he from Mississippi, like he's African, like he's Africa, you know what I mean?
Right.
So you got that going on plus Asian. And there are people who probably knew those things, and they probably said some of the wildest things. He's probably heard some of the wildest things ever. And the only really big games he's having are in Memphis. So we're probably riding him with some of the shit that we're saying to him. So I'm sure that's one thing. The nightlife thing could be a thing. I don't know. I think that's kind of overblown. I think that the TV Hollywood image of NBA players being out in the clubs every night and snorting cocaine and all whatever. I think that image is not really the truth about the NBA is it now. These guys obviously go out, but it's a lot more strip club. They do the club thing some, but you got dudes in the NBA, man, just sit in their hotel room and play video games. Like they pack up a PlayStation 5 for every road trip. You know what I mean? And I think you have kind of a different type of dude. So is Memphis one of those top cities to have fun in when you're from out of town? No, because we don't have the service level, in your face stuff for you to do here. And but the guys who live here and play for the Grizzlies, you never hear them say, "Oh, I'm bored out of my ass playing for the Grizzlies." You know what I mean? So I get that whole thing, but you have to assume that Rui Hachimura, being a player that's half black, half Asian, half African, half Asian, he probably does hear some pretty ridiculous things come out of people's mouths, because I saw some ridiculous things that people were saying in the Clutch Points tweet and in my tweet. Right. You know what I mean? So Twitter can be a nasty place, and he's on Twitter. Yeah. So he's probably seen nasty stuff from people in Memphis.
Of course.
Coming at him, man. So I mean, I get all that. Like I don't care about.
It's not okay, but of course.
Yeah, I don't care about what he said. I'm not saying I don't care about people saying those things, but I'm saying I don't care about what I'm saying. Like, bro, I don't really care for Memphis. 'Cause I wouldn't. If that type of stuff is coming to me, I wouldn't care for it either. Man, there's times I don't care for Memphis because stuff that come at me. You know what I mean? So
you love Memphis, but
you
love
Memphis, but
sometimes.
I hate certain aspects of what. This is the South, man.
Yeah,
this is the freaking South, bro.
Yep.
Like the DEI thing is trending on Twitter.
Man, get
the
out
DEI is the new N-word, right? Like the whole thing in Baltimore, people are just saying nasty, super racist things about
the mayor.
About the mayor, you know what I mean? And just
ridiculous.
About like this when the Rittenhouse stuff, man. Like all the racist things. The stuff that Tammy Sawyer has had to deal with, man. Like, come on, bro.
Insanity, man.
Yeah, it's the South, bro. It's
some
it's
real nasty people out there.
Yeah, it's some nasty stuff. But I can tell you where there's not nasty stuff is every morning with me, man. And I'll tell you what I've been doing every morning for the past week, Kenny Stubblefield. Like, life has been changed. We'll talk about that. I'm telling you, man, with Creator Sig and Toe, man, the munchies have been on a whole nother level, bro. So I'm going to tell you some of the things that I've been eating. Something that's been brought back to my life when we come back here on the Anthony Sain Show. See you guys in a minute.
This isn't a surprise that Rick Stansbury's staying, but I think if you just sort of read through what this means as compared to years past, is there's finally a little bit more staff continuity where Penny's not been able to have that in the past. To have his lead assistant stay for 2 or more years, that's just not been a reality. And to have Rick Stansbury here for another year, that's nice.
Penny doesn't have to go out and search for another assistant. Penny's focus solely needs to be on recruiting and building this team for next year, not having to worry about going out and finding another coach to bring in. And we know typically, much like he does with players, he likes to make splashy coaching hires. So then you got to go through that whole process. I'm glad Rick's staying. I think it helps this staff and whatever team is on the floor for Memphis next year, whatever this roster is composed of player-wise. I think that helps them.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
At Create-A-Sig, our top priority is to provide the best customer service experiences possible while offering the largest variety of vape supplies, legal THC products, and smoking accessories. Our trained sales associates are here to assist any and all customers to help them find the best products available. With our daily deals, weekend deals, loyalty rewards program, and our punch card program, there are tons of rewards to earn to help our customers save plenty of money along the way. Check out one of Create-A-Sig's 4 locations across the greater Memphis area and come visit us.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. Props again to my man Matt Infield, man, from Action News 5. Kenny, we're gonna talk about my people Create-A-Sig, man. Once again, last show I was able to hit some products. I'll definitely be doing that in the future. I left my stuff at the house today, but it was a good ride I had.
Yes, you did.
It was a good ride for sure, man. And when I got home, I got on it again. It's a nice little ride, man. The legal cannabis is the Delta 8 for you those of you who don't know what that is. Good stuff, man. It's like the stuff grandmama used to make for sure. It'll get you where you need to go because the technology they can do so much. There's so much going on, man. With as far as cannabis is concerned, the Delta 8 products are absolutely amazing, and you can get all those as part of the Saint Asylum packs when you go to Create-A-Sig, man. It's a pack where you can get several products. I think it comes with a vape, gummy, and a pre-roll, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. We have 2 different packs, right? We have the nicotine and the THC, the Delta 8 pack. Definitely, you can get the small little rolls. You can get all that kind of stuff. Yep.
Yeah, and on the nicotine pack, you got some of your products here. Like I said, man, the technology has just been off the chain. Small, batteries last a long time. You can take good hits, take nice, customized pulls off of these, man. You can customize them to the way, the amount of pull you want to get back from it. I usually go, sometimes I go high as it'll go. But if you go high as it'll go, sometimes you might be high as you can go. So you got to,
on
regulate.
the moon.
But that's the thing. You'll be on the moon like a baboon riding in a hot air balloon sometimes. But, yeah, the nicotine products, for all my knickers out there, what y'all call yourself?
No.
All right.
No.
So y'all, make sure y'all check that out, man, for sure. Ask for the pack by name, the Saint Asylum pack, whether you're a Delta 8 fan or a nicotine fan, we got a pack set up for you. Kenny's pack, Kenny had to give me some input on the Saint Asylum pack as far as the nicotine side. But the Delta 8 pack is a typical Friday or Saturday night for me, man.
Yeah.
Or a typical, I got Gabe every weekend.
Right.
Typically Wednesday night is a good night. Or Monday night is a good one, typically for me. So,
yeah, man, if you walk up into any of those 4 locations and say, I want the Saint Asylum pack, they got you. They have it on lock. They know exactly what you're talking about.
You can smoke the same stuff I smoke. You can vape the same stuff I vape, and you can eat edible the same edible I edible. Goddamn. Like you can do all that.
Let's go.
And Create-A-Sig, man. You can call. You can hit me up on Twitter and say I'm on the same ride you on. Hey, that's good, bro. Let's ride then, bro. Let's ride. 420 is coming up. We want to try to do something big with them around that time for sure. With the good people at Create-A-Sig. But something else that the products at Create-A-Sig do, Kenny, and when I partake in them, man, I wake up super hungry in the morning, Kenny Stubblefield. And here lately, there's a product that McDonald's has brought back, man, that is really, man, there's a thing, man. Like, there was a post on Facebook that said, you and all your friends in the neighborhood, when you were a kid, went outside and played. Y'all had a tremendous time. And that was the last time y'all did it, but you didn't realize it was the last time you did it. And it hurt my heart to think about that because, like, that was something we did. Like, all the kids in the neighborhood. We played basketball, football, whatever. You know what I mean? Just to, we were kids.
Yep.
And everybody in the neighborhood, one kid would come outside. You didn't have to call nobody. You just look up. Man. Everybody just started coming out, right? Everybody just started coming out, right?
The bat signal went out.
Because we ain't had no cell phones. We've been blowing up each other's mama phone and shit. You just came outside and you, or something, and everybody come out, right? Yeah, they hear a basketball dribbling, and everybody just get out there, right?
That's it. That was the call for me, was the basketball dribbling. If I heard a basketball dribble, I was like,
everybody, you look up, everybody
around.
Come out.
Yep.
And you knew who it was by their dribbling cadence, right?
100%.
You're like, oh, this so-and-so. Yeah, so like, you did that for the last time, but you didn't realize it was your last time doing it, right?
Yep.
And to think about, we talked about mortality earlier in the show. That's what you think about. Like, crap, man. Something that I loved is gone, but I didn't realize this is my last time doing it, right? And I would have done it a little different, right? And for a long time, I felt that way about the McDonald's steak, egg, and cheese bagel, right? Which disappeared in the pandemic. I went to McDonald's one day during the pandemic, ordered it. We don't sell that no more. Oh, what happened? It's hard to get steak now. Oh, okay, because of the pandemic. Like, all right, so pandemic's over. Where's the steak, egg, and cheese bagel, right?
I need that back.
Right. Another casualty is the parfait, right? I used to order them just 3 or 4 at a time. It's gone. The grilled chicken sandwich, gone. The pandemic killed all those things, right? McDonald's brought back this delicacy the other day. I saw a post on Facebook, Kenny. Somebody tagged me in it. My friend Michelle Shelton tagged me on Facebook, right? I was like, man, this is bullshit. I thought it was something, because there's some couple people in Memphis that sell it, but they're making it at their house and selling it out of their house. I'm like, oh, I'm good on that, because I don't really know you. I
don't know where your hands
I ain't
have
really
been.
fooling with it, right? So there are a couple people that were selling it. I thought this was somebody selling it, because the image looked kind of warped, like it wouldn't like a McDonald's quality flyer, right? So I was like, this is probably somebody selling it from the house. So I checked the comments, and no, she had addresses on there, and the address spelled popular wrong. Like, it was spelled like
Popular.
I'm cool, like popular, yeah. It was spelled not like the tree.
Popular Avenue.
Yeah, it wasn't spelled like the tree. And speaking of spelled like the tree, man, I got a friend from New Orleans that made me think about this. He said, man, y'all schools are weird, man. I said, what you mean? I said, bro, you don't know nothing about the schools here? He said, no, I mean like the names of them. He said, in New Orleans, man, like everything's named after like somebody, like some famous person or some
Historical
figure that died. He said, man, in Memphis, everything's about neighborhoods, directions, and trees, and leaves and shit. I was like, he was like, what is an Oak Haven? Like, what is he was like, what is Whitdale? Like, I don't know, man. Like, but he was just talking about most. It's like
that's hilarious.
He's like, y'all got a couple of them like Booker T. Washington. So I'm thinking like Overton's named after that dude, right? He said, but it's not like the short form. Like in New Orleans, it's like the full person's name is the name of the school. He said, y'all schools ain't named after nothing.
Hey, that's better than Robert E. Lee Elementary School,
right? Exactly.
in South Memphis, man.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, man. So yeah, what I was saying. So they spelled popular wrong, right? So I was like, man, what is this, bro? So I started cross-checking the addresses. I was like, okay, these are actual McDonald's, though. These are McDonald's locations, right? And I see people in the comments asking questions, and the questions were getting answered. I'm like, bro, this looks for real. So the girl who tagged me, I said, have you been? She said, no, but I'm going today. So she goes, I'm like, bro, they got that shit for real? She was like, yeah. So, dude, I found out 5 days ago, and I've been there 5 straight days. They got 3 and they're like, well, it comes out everywhere on April the 1st, right? So they're like, yeah, April the 1st, they're going to have it everywhere. But until then, we're the only locations in the city. We're selling it early. So I'm like, okay, how y'all selling it early? So like to the other companies, like is there meat like in the freezer somewhere? Like how are y'all selling it?
Oh, that's so funny.
Like are their bagels going to be old on the 1st? Like how do y'all have it and you're selling it early? Like none of that was still don't make no sense. Hey, ask you no questions, I tell you no lies.
Yeah,
right?
man, just go get you.
I'm going to get that joint 5 days. Gabe was out sick. Gabe was in my house sick Monday and Tuesday, right? Tuesday, I was like, Gabe, you think you can stay at home by yourself? So I called his mom. Gabe had never stayed at home by himself. I said, hey, how close do you think Gabe is to staying at home by himself? I said, don't you think today would be a good day to experiment? I said, I'm just going to run to McDonald's real fast. I'll be back 30, 40 minutes. He got his iPad. She was like, yeah, go ahead. I'm like, yes. So I kept the streak alive. But it's so good, man.
Man, so when it described the experience.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have never had it, but I'm going to.
Bro.
Describe the experience for me when you
It's better. It's better than it was at first. And it's better because, like, you know, if you're making something all the time, you kind of sloppy with it. Like, this is a new product, so they're kind of handling it with care. There's new product to a lot of people that are there, so they're kind of handling it with care. The bagel, a lot of times back in the day, used to be kind of overcooked and burnt on the bottom. The steak was overcooked. But, man, like, the steak is, like, cooked to perfection now. The bagel is super soft. Man, it's the folded egg at McDonald's. It's like a steak, and it's not like a country fried steak. It's like Philly cheesesteak, but it's like a patty. So when you bite it, it kind of crumbles. It breaks apart. So it's kind of like that steak-em type stuff, but it's not like loose. It's in a patty, but it kind of breaks apart. Folded egg, cheese, and then like all of it kind of pops out of the holes in the bagel, right? So and it's got some type of like sauce on it. I used to didn't like the sauce at first, but I almost got to have the sauce now. And one day they messed around and put some bacon on mine by mistake.
You had sausage, egg, and cheese, and bacon?
Not sausage, steak.
Oh, steak, excuse me.
And they got this, and like it had bacon on it by mistake. I was like, damn.
I mean, I like steak, but man, sausage, there's sausage patty.
Yep, the sausage, they got you can get it in the way. But yeah, it's only 3 locations. I can't remember the addresses, so if you go on my social media, it's on there. Michael went the other day, and he was like, yeah, man. Michael blew it up. People started tagging him about it. people are, tagging me on Facebook. I got one and messaging me. I got it. Thanks to you, my life feels restored again. Bro, that thing was the best. Billy Richmond, owner of the Wing Group. Man, when they done that big bro. Man, I'm telling you, man, that is the best fast food breakfast sandwich experience. Nothing touching that, bro. Chick-fil-A, chicken biscuit.
Nah,
Get the hell up out of here, man, for real. All that. It's killing everybody. But it has totally changed my life. Hey, the streak will remain tomorrow morning. Just let y'all know. It's at 3 area locations now. But it's not at all of them. But it will be, I think, April the 1st when it's at all locations are going to have.
Keep all that. You need to keep that hidden. I'm surprised you're talking about
man,
it.
I don't. Hey, the more the merrier, man. The more the merrier. But yeah, it's really good stuff. And thanks to the good people at Creative Sig, man. I wake up every morning. One of them bad boys, man. But check out Creative Sig. Like I said, 4 area locations, man. You can get the Sain Asylum pack. You can be on the same ride that I'm on when I go stargazing. When I go off into the clouds, man. You can be on that same ride as me. You can be on the same Nick ride with you Nick riders out there with Kenny Stubblefield as well, man. Get the Sain Asylum pack. Great stuff. The good people at Creative Sig, 4 area locations, super nice. Great customer service when you go in there, man. A lot of times when you go in a smoke shop, it's somebody there that's like either too cool for school or that you can't ask them questions about the product because they don't know. It's just some kid they got working there or one of their cousins or something that don't really know nothing. The people there will educate you, let you know everything you need to know, man, because when you get into the cannabis products, the legal marijuana products, all those type of things, when you get into those kind of conversations, your first time can be kind of strange. You know what I mean?
You walk in and there's so much stuff.
And you might, and it doesn't look like something like sketchy. Like everything looks super clean and professional there, and they have top products there, not any BS products 100%. There. It ain't the stuff you buying at Mapco. You know what I mean? It's this is top brand stuff, and there are people that can tell you what you're taking, the effects of it, how much you can take, you should take. They'll tell you, they'll find where your experience level is. Yep. I'm kind of a vet at this now, so I can kind of go there, but they'll tell you where you need to go. But everything that's in that Sain Asylum pack, you can get different varieties of things, different skill levels, so to speak.
And that's kind of the point of the Sain Asylum packs is we wanted to create these packs specifically for
the beginners,
to like get you introduced to this. Like honestly, as a personal story, those things help me quit smoking cigarettes. Yeah. Like if you're looking to quit smoking cigarettes, this is the perfect place to do it. Yeah. It's not, that doesn't have the carcinogens that cigarettes have. It helps you, but it just is so good, man. And those places will help you out. They know their shit.
Yeah, I'll be honest, man. I started getting off into cannabinoid products during the pandemic. And it has changed my life, bro. Like, it has changed my life, man. I touched it a little bit in college, but I'm telling you, this stuff here, the legal stuff that's out now, you can go in a store like Creative Sig and buy it. You're not buying it from somebody off the street or whatever. Yeah. But it's good stuff, man, and it's gotten me through. It's really good stuff. Like I will vouch for it, like for sure. It's really good stuff for sure. But I tell you what, man, check out Creative Sig and keep checking us out, man. Share the show. Send it to as many people as possible. Get in the comments, man, about anything you want to talk about. Another great show. Shout out again to my boy, Matt Infield. For Kenny Stubblefield behind the glass, this is Anthony Sain. We'll see you guys next time on the Anthony Sain Show. And we out.
Thank you for listening to the Anthony Sain Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.